Update. My mother, 44 female, wants to meet me 24 male after 8 years. I don't know what to do. Original post. So she was dating my father when he got her pregnant and left her after she told him she is pregnant. I don't remember much because my grandparents raised me, and she would visit once a week. She would take me to shopping, get me chocolates, etc. Grandparents died when I was 6, so my mom take me in. She was married and I never even knew, even had a baby, but I didn't think too much about it. Growing up, I was neglected. All her love and care was for my half-sisters. Her husband mistreated me emotionally and physically. He would yell at me for little mistakes, like if slip some water, wake up late. And my mother was a bystander and sometimes participate. She always tells me about how my father left her when she needed him most, how I almost ruined her life. This is all in front of her husband. And lastly, he would kiss her and tell me how he saved her. Well, I was just 12 at a time. I get hurt and jealous every day by seeing how they treat their daughters with love and affection. I never expected her husband to be my father, but she is my mother. How could she be so cruel to me, her own child? She always guilt-tripped me by saying she's the one who's feeding me and is giving me a shelter to live. I was a bright student in school and still am, but she never got happy for my progress. I thought if I study hard, she will love me, because I loved her very dearly. But I realized too late that no matter what I do, she will always show me where I stand. So when I was 16, I got in touch with one of my father's sisters through my mother's childhood friend. She knew how my mom treats me, and she wanted to help me, I guess. We hang out more and she finally asked me how I was living with my mom, and I just broke down and told her everything. She said she knew and that's why she wants to help me, and asked me if I want to live with her. I said yes. 1 month passed and I was ready to move in with her. When I got home, Mom was in the kitchen and I asked her to come upstairs when she's done. She came late, and conversation goes like this. Her, what do you want now? Me, can I ask you something, Mom? What? Do you love me? Of course. Then why don't you stop your husband when he mistreats me? Her, that's me. Let me finish, Mom. You hate me, don't you? That's why you let him mistreat me for years. You never showed me any affection, but you love your daughters. You attend their parents' meeting, but you never showed up at my school. You even sent me to another school. That's how you love me. Just why you never loved me, huh? Did I do something wrong? Tell me. Her, how could I hate you? You're my son. Me, then why hurt me so much? I can't show you how much it hurts whenever you choose your husband over me. It feels like my heart will stop beating. Every single time you chose to hurt me. But I loved you. And I tell myself that one day you will love me. But it was my fantasy which come to an end. Her, he cares for you. I interrupt. Me, look, you're choosing him again. Mom, I always choose to love you even though I always get hurt by you in return. But this time I choose to not get hurt anymore. I know you don't give a damn about me. That's why I'm moving in with my aunt. She knows her. And I expect you to at least respect my decision and let me go live my life. She was just standing. Didn't say a word after I tell her I'm moving with my aunt. Next day, I move out when my mother and her husband was at work. I didn't say bye to my half-sisters. We moved to another state and I cut off my mom and her entire family. That was 8 years ago, and I never heard anything from them in this 8 years. I still live with my aunt, her husband, and her daughter. They are nice and kind people. Also, now I have a job, but I'm on the way to becoming a software engineer, so I can say I'm doing good. But yesterday, I get voicemail from my mother saying she wants to meet me and to please talk to me and was crying. I haven't responded yet. Should I call her or should I just block her? I can't decide, so any advice is appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Her personality hasn't magically changed. Life isn't like the movies. Perhaps her husband has left her and she needs money for herself and the girls. I suspect money's involved somehow. Regardless, she hasn't changed. She was a weak, cruel woman all your life. She's still a weak, cruel woman now. I agree. She probably heard that Opie will be going into a career with good money-making potential. Opie has made a life for himself and seems happy. He should not let his mother, and I use that term loosely, disturb his peace. This here. She wants to use you. She doesn't love you like you loved her. Maybe find out what she wants, but don't be surprised if it's something to do with her needing you in some way. Personally, I'd steer clear of her. Live your life. I know she doesn't love me and it still hurts. And I won't be surprised if she needs money from me. I know how selfish she is. Money or organ. Either way, she wants something. There's no way I would give her my organ. I don't care if she dies without one. Do what you want. If you don't want to talk, just don't answer. If you do, you can send her a message. Hell, you can also tell her to buzz off and not contact you. Part of me wants to meet her, to tell her about my achievements. You know, you can't completely hate your mom. And another reason is, I never got my answer. Why she let her husband mistreat me? Why she never stood up for me? I want answers. You think she would tell me this time if I meet her? Edit. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Here's some more. I haven't told my aunt about my mom's voicemail. We'll do tonight after dinner. And my dad died when I was maybe 3. And yes, he tried to meet me, but she never let him. She used me to get money from my dad and his parents, and my dad left me some money. Now for the first update. So much happened in the last 4 days, so I thought I should write an update. So here's what happened. I talked to my aunt and uncle the day after the post, told them about her voicemail. They were so understanding about my emotional situation, and I told them their opinion is very important to me. I asked my aunt about mom's friend, so she called her and invited her to dinner last night. She told us that mom's husband Edison's kicked her out because she argued with her oldest daughter-in-law. Her husband filed for divorce and she will not get anything from him because he had her sign prenup. Her daughters refused to help her and is still living with her father. She's now all alone and is living in her parents' house. Her friend said she knows I'm engaged and perhaps wants to meet me because she is sorry for how she treated me. After listening to all this, I asked my aunt what she thinks, and she said she doesn't trust her, and she's trash, but will understand if I want to meet her. My uncle said I should meet her without looking for any kind of relationship. So after giving it some thoughts, I decided to meet her. I messaged her telling I'm ready to meet her, but my aunt is gonna be there and she must come alone. She said okay. I messaged her today that we will meet on Sunday in a restaurant. She said she will book a table. As many views suggested, this restaurant is always crowded. So that's what happened in the last couple of days. I will write an update if anything happens. Thank you again. Good luck and do not be fooled. She just wants to reconcile and apologize to you and she's alone and they have abandoned her. I do not believe much in karma, but this is a clear example. She should have apologized much earlier and not now. Don't fall for that. I hope you update. Correct. Do not be fooled by the waterworks. She has been emotionally unavailable since you were a child. It doesn't mean anything now. All the best. As a third-party observer, my first impression based on her friend's depiction of what's going on is that she's looking for someone to support her now that she's out on her own. Don't be surprised if she hits you up for money or a place to stay or something. Opie, the concern I would have is that your mother is once again cast adrift from having someone to support her financially and emotionally, and she's looking for her next convenient spot to anchor. Trash is a word I would never use to describe a fellow human being, but I assume your aunt meant that your mother has proven in the past to be an unengaged parent and a self-centered grifter. The lines between nature and nurture are so blurred at this point that she may not mean to use people as badly as she does, but she still habitually uses people whenever it suits her purposes, even the people she loves. Your uncle was right to warn you against hoping that you will finally get the close mother-son relationship you've always craved, because that's very unlikely to happen. Either now, on the eve of your wedding, or in the foreseeable future. Your mother is who she is, and you had the misfortune to come up a double loser in the parent lottery. I'm sorry for all the trauma and isolation you experienced in childhood and adolescence before you decided to move in with your aunt and her family. I wish you good luck for your restaurant meeting with Mommy Dearest, but I hope you plan to don some heavy emotional armor. Even with your aunt there for moral support, you're likely to experience some powerful feelings, both positive and negative. Just keep reminding yourself that you do have relatives and a fiancé who love you unconditionally, regardless of how your mother feels or what she wants from you at this time. Now for the second update. Yesterday when we got to the restaurant, she was with her other friend. And when she saw my aunt with me, she freaked out and started to cry loudly, saying that my aunt stole me from her and that she's the reason I didn't acknowledge her, and also that she used a black magic to control me. The list goes on. Everyone at the restaurant was looking at us, like we are criminals. Some of them even started to record videos. It was so embarrassing. I realized I'll never get the closure from her, so we left in the car. My aunt was crying, saying she failed again to protect me. She knew it would end up like this, That's why she didn't want me to meet her at all, but she did for my sake. I told her I will not meet or talk to her ever again. I blocked her number and everything, and this morning I get a new number. So yes, that's what happened. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys when you told me not to meet her. Nothing to be sorry about. Your aunt is an amazing person and really cares about you. I wish you the best in life. Didn't you get to tell her that it was her fault that you left and that she never tried to talk to you? You would think in 8 years she would wise up. Sorry. Give your aunt a hug, tell her you love her and it's not her fault. It was your decision. Thanks for the update. Too bad you didn't say, thank goodness she saved me from you. Give your aunt an extra hug. Enjoy your life. Now for the last story. My husband, 43 male, treats my daughter from a previous relationship, 12 female, differently to our own daughters, 10 female and 8 female, and it hurts her. When I was 27, I got pregnant quite early into a relationship with a not-so-great guy, and he left a couple months after I gave birth. I'll call my daughter Ellie. He rarely sees her except bringing a gift every year or something. He's a useless dad and always has been. I met my now husband Lee when Ellie was 2 years old. He never minded that I had a kid, and he was great with her. When I got pregnant early in the relationship, he was thrilled and wanted to be dad. We now have 2 beautiful daughters together, Olivia and Rose. Although Lee has always been a good father figure to Ellie, he has always treated her differently to our daughters Olivia and Rose. Despite being there since she was a toddler, he does not consider Ellie his, and corrects people when they refer to him as her dad. He says that Ellie has her own dad as well. And yes, she does, but he is hardly around. And he has been around much more than her. It hurts Ellie when he says she isn't his. She has my last name, while my other daughters have his. I hate to say this, but I think one thing that factors into it is their different appearance and race/culture. My daughter is white British like me, and he is Asian. Our daughters look like him, but Ellie's obviously not his. He involves Olivia and Rose with his family, and because of this, they are now quite proficient in his native language. Lee's family hate the fact that he is raising another man's child, and they don't like Ellie coming over. Even if he invites her, Ellie now refuses to see his family and knows they don't like her. To be honest, they don't like me much either, but they absolutely adore Olivia and Rose. Another factor is that our daughters are also exceptionally beautiful and are regularly complimented by complete strangers. We have been approached by modeling agencies after posting their photos on Instagram. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this, and she does not look like a model. She's still beautiful inside and out to me, but I know this is a very big insecurity of hers and she feels inadequate compared to them. Lee's Facebook cover photo is a family photo without Ellie, and he frequently posts pictures of our 2 daughters but rarely includes her. He buys them more gifts than he buys Ellie. He frequently compliments Olivia and Rose but rarely Ellie. He was better about it when she was younger, but now the different treatment is even more obvious. Probably due to all this, since Ellie was about 9, she has bullied Olivia and Rose sometimes. She's a great girl and she is usually kind, but she frequently picks on them and has fought with them and hit them. Olivia, the 10-year-old, has also started being nasty back to Ellie and calls her fat and ugly. She includes Rose in this too. They do this thing where they stuff pillows up their jumpers and pretend to be Ellie. I do my best to stop these behaviors from both sides, but it's hard, especially because Lee takes the side of Olivia and Rose no matter what happens. It makes Ellie out to be the instigator. Lee and Ellie's relationship is now kind of strained, especially now that Ellie's starting to go through puberty and the mood swings are coming. She has told me that sometimes she wants to run away from home. My heart breaks for this whole situation, and I feel like it's too late now to fix their relationship. My husband claims he loves and cares for her, and it's true that he does buy things for her and acts as a father figure, but it's just so different to how he treats our own daughters. I'm so overwhelmed with this and I don't know how to fix it. Please help. Now for the top advice. You and Ellie each need therapy ASAP. Did you and Lee not discuss him taking the role of father in Ellie's life before you got married? It must feel awful to feel like the only outsider in her own home. This also could be his cultural conditioning. That is massively pressed into them like no others. This scenario most especially. It's deeply generational, rooted into the man that is a disgrace to themselves and their family's legacy, to take on another man's child and feels the shadow shaming that's probably coming from his people, potentially having a child that doesn't look like you. The Eastern cultures are trying to keep Western society from infiltrating their cultures. They don't like what the negative aspects that are blaring out to the rest of the world. So any snippets of Western society frowned upon. That's a massive struggle, I would imagine, for someone. I've just seen this as what is going on with people from different cultures. Well, if it is so unbelievably disgraceful, then he shouldn't have accepted Ellie as a 2-year-old, or dated her mother, or married her mother, or impregnated her mother. This is not an excuse. There were many opportunities for him to not raise another man's child. God, this post just kept going. Why are you allowing any of this? Why did you put your foot down a long time ago? Why are you even here, asking for advice, when you know your husband's behavior is damaging, discriminatory, and hurting your child? This whole thing makes me feel sick. You're all Ellie has. Please stand up for her. Ellie's overweight like her father, despite my best efforts to stop this. Is she actually overweight, or is she just not thin? Because your best efforts to stop this are probably just as damaging as her sisters making fun of her. She is overweight, but not massively. It could sort itself out naturally in her teens, but maybe not. I never say anything hurtful about her weight. I give her healthy food, but she uses her pocket money to buy extra snacks and sneaks things from the cupboards. Have you considered that she's using food as an emotional bandage for basically being discriminated against by her father figure and failed so epically by her mother? You are supposed to be her protector, and instead, you basically put up with her being mistreated and singled out as lesser. You should have put your foot down or left your husband when he started to treat your daughter as different. You failed so massively.